And the best way to contribute to society is to share your gift, no matter what it is.
I love
no
that.
matter what it is just share your gift the best way you know how.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode on Divinely Disruptive podcast. I'm your host, Jane Powers. Today we have a really cool guest. I can't wait for you all to meet her. And if you're new to this platform, I'm so excited that you guys are here to join. You're going to hear from some influential people that have impacted me in a very spiritual, intimate way. Vegas is very lucky to have this fierce queen. Not only is she a DJ, artist, and producer, I want to introduce you to the beautiful yoquierosilla.
Oh my God.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. I'm like excited. I'm a little nervous, but you have really just truly made an impact in my life. I remember we went to Lavo brunch party last year, and it was like this party vibe brunch, and you know, I'm fairly new to the industry, and I remember you just came in hot and ready, dressed up, like borderline costume, but in the best way. And I'm thinking, who is this like fierce woman that I don't even know how to comprehend and digest? But the whole time you were just high energy, vibing. And I know we talked through Instagram DM, but just like your presence, I was like, you are just a whole nother animal. And I would love to start the conversation of how did you get to be the fierce, confident person that you are today? Because like you're a ball of fire, not even a light or energy, just a ball of fire. Here I am. Get with it or move out of my way.
You know, as Elvis once said, you either have it or you don't. If you have it, you have it all over.
Yeah.
And he's like doing a shimmy. And I'm like, that's right.
Yes.
You know, and Maybelline says maybe she's born with it.
Ooh.
This is how I've always been.
Yes.
And I was born dead. I have a twin sister. I always say she ate me, but she didn't. I love you, Pam.
Yeah.
But with that being said, like, let's say I died at birth. So it's like, I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm back, bitches. Watch me.
Yeah. And even like your fashion right now, like for people that are watching and listening, I was like, dress whatever, you know, dress to impress, whatever floats your boat. Okay. And then you come in here looking like a vibe, right? But that's one thing that I also really am inspired by is even growing up. I love fashion. I love beauty, you know, coming from Korea, the whole Korean culture. It's like be different, mix and match. Totally. And I thought I was like wild and different. But then when I met you, you're like next level different, Thank you. And you own it. Like even when you sat down, I'm like, only you could pull this off and it looks great. I'm like, you own it. So tell me a little bit about your fashion sense, your inspiration in fashion, and how you own what you put on.
Okay, I love this question.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I was a kid, I was always a fashionista. Honestly, I would rule my friends and kind of like inspire them. My sister and I would do makeovers, and we would do their hair and makeup, and I would dress everybody. And I said, you know, fashion makes you feel good. It makes you feel great, and other people view you differently. I don't know. They look up to you when you dress, when you just express yourself through fashion.
Yeah,
and I guess my fashion inspiration at the moment, okay, it's funny. It is Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson.
Oh, what? I could see that actually.
And WWF.
Oh, hell yeah.
Those are my fashion inspirations.
Okay, that's the first that I've heard. Yeah,
Pam and Tommy and WWF. So like Hulk Hogan, Macho
that's
Man.
So rad.
Totally. Those are my fashion inspirations.
I can see that because I remember a few times you would come in with like jeans or like an oversized t-shirt with like a trucker hat. And even that, I'm like, I love what's going on, but I definitely feel like you rock the clothes and the clothes don't rock you. Like whatever piece of fabric texture you put on, you just know how to promote it in such a way where it's like, I need to buy that hat. Like even if you got it at the Dollar Tree, I'd be like, that is a chic bougie vintage, and I need it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm honestly, thank you so much. I don't know what to say, but thank you.
And the makeup on point.
I work with what I have. I've always been able to do that. I didn't grow up with money. I mean, at all. Lots of kids in the family. Yeah. And so my sister and I would really just be lost in our rooms and get creative and work with what we've got. And it was always making remixes or styling, doing photo shoots since we were kids. So 2020 was like the way I grew up in my little room. And I would still tell myself, I'm like, I still feel like my 8-year-old niece in her room, lost in her imagination. Yes. So I love that. That's me.
And, you know, speaking of creativity and just being in this awesome magical fantasy, how did you develop that? Like, did you grow up with creatives in your blood, or is it something that you just wanted to do? Like, where did that inspiration come from? Because like I said, you're so talented in so many directions. Where did that part come from?
I would say my mom's side of the family for sure. She's really talented.
Nice.
She was a young mother, so she really didn't she wasn't able to, you know, live up to her potential, what she wanted, but she always did it at home for sure. So I think I definitely got the creative bone from my mother. Yeah. But you know, she had 5 kids by 22, so we kind of had to figure things out and how things work. Yeah. You know, and my mom said something to me very important a few years ago when I did my first album release party. Yeah. She said, "I'm sorry I didn't recognize your talent as a young kid. I feel like you wouldn't be here where you are now. Like you would be somewhere sooner." So that made me bawl my eyes out. But definitely my mom. I come from I think a line of really strong women that have pushed and persevered, and you know, I just want to make my mom proud too. So she's definitely one of my inspirations with everything that I do.
No, not to cut you off. As you're talking, I'm like, oh, I want to meet her. But just, you know, I think that's so powerful and beautiful, just even in the next generation, for you to also be where you're at. I was going to say, you know, I'm sure your mom is beyond proud, right? Like you're almost living the life that she knew she could have had, but the dream didn't end with her, right? Like the dream is literally living through you. So I feel like that is truly your gift to your mother, right? Like even if you feel like you haven't done enough yet or you got to do more, your mother is already beyond grateful and beyond proud of you. And so for you to even share that, like that's so beautiful, because I'm sure your mom has verbally told you, but her entire life was worth it to see her daughter do what she does. And it's like you're almost living the life that she wanted you to live without you even knowing, right? So when she acknowledged, hey, you know, growing up, being a mother was a priority, and she didn't see certain things because I'm sure she just wanted to be in survival mode and take care of the kids as a good mom does. But for you to also embrace that and see that, and now you're living it, it's like, man, whatever you do next, it's like she's already proud. And I wonder too, like, how does that make you feel? Because, you know, when I see you on Instagram and social media, like there's just this humility you wear. I don't think you even see it, but I know you intimately, so I can connect with you differently. But just when you're watching you from the outside looking in, it's like, look at this fierce, untouchable queen that's so unbothered. She's a vibe, you know, wherever you go, you bring the energy. You're always smiling. You're always upbeat. But it's crazy because like no matter how high you jump and how high you fly in this realm of success, you are so deeply anchored. I hope you know that. Like you need to give yourself more credit, because every time I see you, I give you a hug and speak life, and you just look at me like, okay. And you're like me in that way, you know? You see me, I'm always hustling, doing something, building a business or helping somebody or, you know, hosting a party. I'm always doing for others. And so it takes one to know one, but I just wanted you to know personally too, like be proud of yourself, because I'm proud of you. People that have seen you evolve, they're so proud of you. And don't forget to allow yourself to just sit in your accomplishments, right? Including, you know, whether it's new friendships, new love interests, you deserve that. So even the timing of us finally sitting down, we deserve this. Like, we deserve to have a moment to just like sit and be, you know, not entertain, not perform, not people pleasing, but like, hey girl, how are you? And we're just sitting and doing and being. So I want to encourage you more, you know, on this embrace, which you'll talk about in a moment, to also just have a moment to sit in who you are. Because even the 2 years I've seen you evolve, it's like you're another person. The people around you are shifting and certain people are leaving, respectfully. And for us to sit here right now, you know, right around the new year, it's like, wow, let's just take a moment to just celebrate, you know? And before you talk about your journey too, it's like a lot of people listening and watching, maybe they will never get to know you the way I had the opportunity to know you, right? But part of the podcast is to shed a different light or a different angle on who you are as a human outside of what you look like and what you do, because it's so easy for us to just get trapped in the doings instead of like, who am I as just a being, right? So I wanted to acknowledge that before we dive in, because again,
wow.
you do so really, much for people.
So in awe of
that,
everything you're saying.
Yeah, I just wanted you to take that in for a second, because you know, everyone's going to be very impressed by your doings and the things that you have succeeded in. I already know this, but you know, before we dive into that, I wanted to acknowledge that you are already enough, and whatever's on the way, like, cool, that's all extra. But you as a human, you're already enough. And I feel like more people need to remember that. Sure, we need to strive. Sure, we need to have new goals. But let's take a moment to also celebrate like we've made it this far, right? It's been a crazy year, crazy journey. So if you don't mind sharing, I would love to kind of hear more of like your career path and just where you're at, where you're going. Because like I said, success and stages and platforms will just naturally magnetically gravitate towards you because that's just who you are, and I already see it. But yeah, for those that maybe don't know you or don't know of you yet, please share just a little bit about you, because you're phenomenal.
Oh my God, I love you. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of people who don't know who I am. And I'm so thankful for the ones that do, and the ones that make me feel like you know, like an up and coming superstar or a superstar. They'll say it, and that means the world. You're right. I'm always so focused. I recently met a new producer, Las Vegas Canadian producer, Jackal, and we've been working on music together. So like, I kind of switched my music direction. Last year I was doing Mexican pop, and that was kind of let's say a life. What do you say? Not necessarily like the dream, the impossible. That was the impossible. And with pursuing that, the market still has a lot of work to do as far as female representation goes. Yeah. And without backing, it's nearly impossible. So let's just say that's on hold. Where am I at? I'm a DJ now. I get to play in the main rooms and, you know, open up for the big boys, and that's amazing. And I get to headline too in the summer, and that's a dream come true. So I wanted to be able to play music that can take me around the world and still DJ main stages and like have a headliner set. So that's the sound that I'm working on. That's awesome. It's like if last year me and this year me had a baby, that's what's to expect coming soon. And hopefully take my other talents to LA and, you know, see how far I can go. My goal is always to take my talent to the highest level. And I do have multiple talents. So it's like, well, you know, everyone has these extra side hustles. You know, I really like to just go for the impossible and manifest.
Oh, I love it.
That, and you know, let's just say that I manifest everything as I see it down to a T.
God. Really. And you're like a freak of nature, because I remember going to, I believe it was Liquid Pool, and it was my first summer, you know, experience of you performing, right? And I was a little shy at the time, and I'm like, wait, what? You want me to like go watch you DJ? Way. This is crazy, you know? And I'm a late bloomer, so I get a little awkward sometimes. People don't know that about me.
I never knew that.
I like fight through that awkwardness, and I'm like, you know what? That person needs to know me. So, you know, same shit, different story. I'm like you in the sense of with people, like I just manifest divine connections and
Amen.
I just find ways to like know them deeper than, you know, your normal encounter. But just your zest, your fire. I remember when you were DJing, just even the group I brought, they were just like, who is she? She's
really?
amazing.
Oh,
yeah. And they
God.
wanted to dance with you and go behind the DJ booth with you. And even for me, I'm like, dang, like you just make me smile, you know? And even looking at all the guests in the pool, like they were literally facing you just like, wow, she's pretty awesome. So again, you know, God and the universe, they give us, you know, tools, guides, arrows, signs, whatever you want to call it. But back to your point, you have to also be proactive, right? We could sit here and say, well, one day I want to do this and this and that, or I'm going to have a bunch of side hustles, but it may never go anywhere. But I love that you just go all in all that you do, right? And it's definitely showing, because even watching you shift and evolve with the new partnership with Jackal as well, just I see a different layer of fierceness, a different level of femininity in the most strongest way.
Me kidnapping Santa.
Okay, yes. But there's something happening and I'm very excited. So I will be there for sure. And wherever you perform, I would love to be there for you. And again, just to watch you have that vision, to commit to it is incredible. And I wanted to also ask you this because I know sometimes I get easily underestimated, or sometimes people, you know, label me as an underdog, or Jane, like, are you sure you really want to reach that high? Because I told them, you know, I wanted to do a podcast and start little businesses. Like at first they're like, what? I thought you just do makeup, because people know me for being a makeup artist, but I actually have more, you know, skills than they're used to. So what is one of the most, I don't want to say memorable, but was there ever a big moment where you felt, you know, like an underdog, or people just didn't think you could do it?
Every day. Before this year, actually, as a DJ, I was with Caesars Entertainment for the longest time. Now, Caesars recognized me and my talents, and they utilized the crap out of me. You know, I'm very thankful for them. I would not be in where I am in my career. And when 2020 hit, I had to start all over. And so Caesars let go of all the DJs, and Tao Group was hiring and the Win. So Tao Group gave me kind of like full opportunity to woo them at the very bottom, but I wooed everybody. And then that brought me on towards the Win as well. And then at the end of the year, I was just burnt out. I spent everything I had marketing myself, and I felt like I didn't get where I wanted, but I manifested everything that I had was wanting, but I had to put more work into it. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And then I got a call from Tao Group, Padram, and he said, congratulations, you're working in the main room. Everywhere you go, everybody loves you, and you deserve it. You've really worked your ass off. And I was like, you don't know how much that means to me. I like literally was crying on my knees. Thank you. And then that brought on a new level of opportunity, new levels, new doubles. And, you know, the first time you're on, I didn't look up on the crowd. No, I didn't look up the crowd once. And that's not me. But I just wanted to prove that I had the skills. And apparently I did a really good job, but I just kept getting better and better. And I know that like this is an opportunity where I can really take where I want to go to that next level. I just have to focus on being great in the main room. So being a DJ, being in the main room, I mean, it's a roller coaster because everybody wants to be in the main room. So they give opportunities to other people, you know, so you really have to be sharp and, you know, maintain your relationship so you don't have to worry about, you know, when someone doesn't use you, you got, you know, the whole city that wants you or something like that.
God, and especially Vegas. What is it like, you know, performing in Vegas versus other states that you've performed at? I know that's a weird question, but as a DJ, I'm not a DJ, so I wouldn't know. But just what is it like? I'm sure the vibe's different, right? The crowd? Because we got a lot of tourists and some locals here.
You know, Vegas definitely carries to caters to the people that come here.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like to create an energy and a new vibe that is welcoming and informative and just a new experience. And so I think that's what made me make it to the next level was because I listened to everybody and I'm like, you know, a lot of people, they have a very similar sound.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that way. It's easy to fall into that trap. That's what I used to do with Caesar's Entertainment. But I'm like, no, in 2020, I went paralyzed. I was married to house music and Latin music, and my whole style changed completely. I forgot everything that I used to play. Wow. So my music memory had to really build up again. And it was just new music. I fall in love with new music. Yes. But, you know, playing in Vegas, there's definitely an art to it. Yeah. You got to read energies, flow. It's glamorous, definitely. It's rockstar life that nobody knows about. But I also feel like everybody's a rock star in Vegas.
Yes. And even just, you know, attendant. Your energy too, back to when you were saying, I want to create a vibe. I want to create that welcoming energy. I think that's what sets you apart, at least in my experience. And I've gone to a lot of clubs and events, and I'm not shocked by this, but it's easy, like you mentioned, to get sucked into the status quo or feed into what's easily acceptable. So for example, maybe it's hip hop, maybe it's a overly played pop song, right? It's safe, right? Because we know people like it, but man, when you keep talking about your evolution too, I hope you know that takes a lot of courage too, because especially you doing what you do, it's very ballsy of you, right? Anyone can say, well, Jane, I've been playing hip hop my whole life and it's working, so I'm going to stay in that, versus, you know what, Jane, this has worked, but I'm going to take another leap of faith, be even more courageous, take a risk, but I know I got more to show than just what I'm used to. So again, I hope you take a moment to applaud and remember that you are courageous for doing this, because switching directions, not just musically, but in life as well as a career path even, it's a lot. You know, I'm switching my career path as well, and I'm definitely diving deeper into a realm of spirituality, healing, mental health, and I'm okay with that.
It's great for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So just even, you know, as we're talking about shifting, did you ever have to, you know, change your careers? Did you ever have to even pivot out of, you know, maybe friendships that were not healthy for you? And what was like a memorable moment for you?
Well, I realized, honestly, that kind of happens naturally once you level up.
Yes.
You kind of find out who your friends are, and you lose a lot of friends. And a lot of friends, they'll just, for whatever reason, you know, people get jealous, people get envious, incredibly envious.
Yes.
People get intimidated by you, or they automatically assume that you think that you're too big for them. You're too good for them.
Yeah.
That's never the case with me. I feel like I definitely am like in a league of my own.
Yeah.
I do the absolute most. So anything that I get, I feel like I truly, you know, earned it because I do the most.
Yes.
And maybe that scares people too.
Yeah.
You know, like, well, she does the most. Right. And I will never be that too. And I just want to encourage people to go for it all. You know, do makeup, do podcasts, do everything, because it's all relative.
Yes.
It's all relative. And that is the beauty of of today's world, is literally you can be yourself.
Yes.
And get paid to be yourself. And people can't necessarily grasp that. And as far as like musical formats, I mean, I used to play at just outside of Dre's at the Cromwell. I'd play hip hop for 8 hours straight. Gosh. And I would not repeat one song. And I would play, certain places I would just play Latin nights, hip hop only, house, open format, top 40. I don't like for things to feel like work. So I like the switch up.
Oh, I like that.
And people used to tell me back in the day, you know, you do too much. You need to focus on one thing and one thing only. And I said, I will never focus on one thing and one thing only.
Yeah. Oh, man. See, that's gold right now, because I feel like people are very burnt out right now. You know, people love the holidays, people love the New Year's, and it's like, woohoo, look at this year, and I can't wait for the next year. But, we kind of touched on this indirectly, but I don't think people are living their, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the most joyful, intentional, purposeful path. And what I mean by that is, including myself, I've had seasons where I'm just trying to survive, right? Or I'm just trying to get by, or I'm just trying to do enough so I don't get fired. And so, for us to be able to at least start that fire or light that fire of, I'm going all in. Like there's no other way, right? If this is what you love, even if it is juggling 5 things, as we know, life is so short, and as we know, life can be gone just like that, right? So why not go for it? Like why not live the dreams and the visions that you have? So, it might be common sense or easier for us to, understand this, but for those that maybe are not where we are in the sense of like that courage to jump, what would you advise them? Or like, how do you help somebody who's super stuck and is not really happy, but they know that they're, made for more, but they're scared?
I've tried helping those people for a long time. That was my brothers, my sister, my mother, my friends.
Yeah.
And I had to literally get to one point and say, you're on your own.
Okay.
And you know what? I was like, this person listened to me and look where he is. This person listened to me and look where she is.
For sure.
I listened to me and look where I am. And like some people are finally catching on that, they could judge me for being a DJ, but they don't know everything else that I do. Yeah. I edit my own videos. I'm a creative director. Yes. I consult too. I work with different record labels. I promote new music. I am an artist. I produce. I do a lot. Like there's so many things, so many different areas that I can move into. Should I have that desire?
Yes.
But I'm not ready yet. And if you could ask me what my flaw is, and I was like, I have one flaw. I'm an artist.
Yeah. Creative.
Period.
Yep. I love that.
Period.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And even the word artist or creator, like I remember my mom always telling me, you're just like a free spirit and you just kind of move with what feels right. And, speaking of like flaws too, I feel like I'm so emotional, and sometimes people can label emotions or being emotional as a negative thing, right? But you and I both know to create and to be an artist, you have to feel, like you have to get into your alignment with how you really feel, right? That's almost like the true inspiration. So, even the candle business I'm launching, even the podcast I'm launching, everything comes back to a moment where I felt so depressed, so anxious, wondering what the point of life was, do I even need to still be here on earth? But in that moment, I kid you not, it's like I saw the light, the literal light of like, Jane, it's a long tunnel. It might be a long road, but there's something waiting for you. And I'm like, I didn't know what the heck it was, but as I move towards it, even this podcast right now, I realized, oh my God, that tunnel was not for me to walk, but to help others walk through it. And I know that's super trippy and deep, but I think that's this epiphany I'm getting. And so even for you, you don't even realize you shared this out loud, but when you're talking even about what you do, it's like, no, through your gifts and through your talents, you're also helping other people see the way, right? Even you were acknowledging like, hey, you could help people, but those who want to be helped, we're ready to help them. But those that aren't ready yet, like you said, eventually they'll come around and be like, you know what? Thank you for those words, or thank you for that moment you pushed me. I was not mature enough.
You're not on my radar. I'm not even thinking about you. I'm not even looking at you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right. But when they're ready, it's like mind blown. So, speaking of that and your desire to kind of help coach and, partner up with so many talented people, do you have a lot of mentors in your life? And, how do you feel like they've impacted your life?
I've had so many different mentors and different scales. I think is very important, because I knew I wasn't getting it where I wasn't getting it anywhere.
Yeah.
So I had to open my mouth and ask. Mm-hmm. And there's really no such thing as a dumb question when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Being bold, standing up for yourself, you just have to do it. You have to just practice letting it out.
Yeah.
And I will never tell someone who's like frustrated or furious for whatever reason it is. I'll say, let it out.
I love
let
that.
it out. So just get it out. Are you done? Are we good? Okay, now let's talk about
I
it.
love that. Yeah.
Now let's talk about it. I think it's really important to let people just express themselves. And even like in my first album, a lot of people may not have understood it. They could have thought it was gibberish.
Yeah.
But there was a few people that really resonated with it. Now it's wild. But what I was going through at the time, it was my way of releasing it. And, you know, a friend of mine's like, yeah, I'm deleting my catalog right now. I don't want certain sounds to be out anymore. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Embrace who you are, who you were when you put that out there. You know, I love to see my evolution, and I'm proud of my evolution. From the first song I put out, my mother did not. She was very disappointed in me. She was probably disappointed in, you know, a happy, hot, Merry Christmas and happy fucking holiday too. You know, but I was empowered by that song, and I actually helped people out with that song because they were like, thank you for, not everybody likes Christmas. I hate it. I get triggered by it. A lot of people do. And it's like, well, this is my way of dancing it off.
I love that.
Really. You could get it or not. And, you know, I think I had to convince Jack to do this song with me, but he did it anyways. And then we ended up getting like 50 remixers.
Oh, wow.
We ended up we did a remix contest, and we ended up getting like 50 people that submitted remixes. Wow. We chose 8 of them and decided to make a remix album. And so now we have like remixes that are from all over the world.
That's awesome.
We put the work in. Now, I didn't have a busy schedule in December. So I'm like, well, I really want to make good use of this time, but I know that I will have no time left for anything else. But I'm happy that we did.
Yeah.
Because now I can say that. And now I feel like people are more excited to see our sound. Now, I consider myself to be very much of a rebel. I don't look like it. I don't sound like it. But I'm a rebel.
Yeah.
Okay. I call myself a professional, not shit stirrer. I'm a professional hellraiser.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I'm a professional hellraiser.
I could see that. Yeah.
So don't you forget, I am the good angel.
Yeah.
And I'm the bad angel that's going to be like, hey, you need to have some fun and let loose.
Yeah. No, but I like what you said there because, like I said, your presence, it's so professionally outrageous. I know that sounds so funny, but even when we're out like partying or out at brunch, like I said, it's like you and I both, we're so professional, yet we're just like outrageous, but we love it. Like, it is who we are.
And we have the freedom to do that in Las Vegas.
Yes.
So you really do. And I love that about Vegas.
Yes.
Is, you know, I'm always expressing myself.
Yeah.
Vegas is, I call it, it's Spirit Day every day.
Oh, I love that. Spirit Day.
So if I'm not the loudest person dressed up in the room, I don't want to be the loudest person dressed up in the room. I embrace all of my other, you know, people that are extra. Divos and divas.
Oh
and I live for it.
Now, okay, to bring it on a different topic really quick. So we talked about kind of mentors, good people like Jackal,
that's
right?
where you were going.
No, it's all good. But even friendships, right? I would like to know, you know, with the success, with the evolution, with the confidence, with the ownership of you being you, despite, you know, what people might think about you. How is it making friends? And I like to ask this question to everybody because I've been seeing a bunch of quotes on Instagram. Like, you know, we said it earlier in the conversation. When you start leveling up and you start owning who you are and you start truly living in alignment, it's almost like all the friends you had disappear. It's like you have all this peace and joy and radiance. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm finally in like such a better place. Where the hell is all my friends? Or I'm finally in a healthy relationship. Shouldn't my friends be happy for me? But I've noticed for some odd reason, like I'm in the most aligned, peaceful place, yet the most lonely. What I mean by that is people just kind of made themselves like out of my life. I didn't do anything necessarily, but you know, I had a hard time in the beginning, and now I'm realizing, Jane, maybe not everyone's meant to sit at that table that you're moving towards, or maybe not everyone is heading towards the direction that you are, and just accept it. Because back to what you shared earlier, you might be triggering somebody, or you might, you know, make them feel like you're better than them, because that's not it at all. but maybe they're not ready to receive who you are. Maybe they're not ready to accept.
That's exactly what it is. It's, everybody really is on their path, and it's taken me a while because it really hurt me. I experienced a lot of pain from a lot of friends that just all of a sudden I was like, whoa, I never saw that coming.
Yeah.
But it's, everybody's really on their own journey. And when you just focus on what you're manifesting, they could be manifesting something else, and it has nothing to do with you. So I think I stopped definitely being so sensitive to that and just realized that everybody is on their own journey. And I had to do that with a lot of some family members that I've been dying to see, but they just won't like give you the time or whatever. And it's hard not to take it personal sometimes. Right. It really is. But when you know that everybody really has their own struggles and their own personal goals and manifestations, then as long as you're doing what you can do, then you be happy with that. And you just embrace them later on. Should they decide to wake up? Should they get out of that funk? And, I kind of see life as a video game too. We all pass different levels. And, you're on a different level. You don't go back.
Right.
Again, once you make a different level. So it's, accepting them for when they were in your life and, just kind of saying, I hope to see you up here. 'Cause it's really cool up here.
Yeah. I like that. And I like that perspective you shared too, because again, back to being emotional and having so much emotions, I would, feel sad and just disappointed. But then back to what you shared too, it's like, well, Jane, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their visions are, and you can't, fault them or punish them that your end goals maybe aren't in alignment, right? But I do believe that people show up for us for a season, or maybe there's a moment we're supposed to learn, but we also have to just accept people, as they show up.
Another thing is the world doesn't revolve around me all the time. Just like it doesn't revolve around you.
Yes. That sometimes is a hard wake-up call.
It is. I have to tell myself that every day. So, by you praising me and giving me the sweetest, kindest compliments, opening this up, meant the world to me. But I've truly let go of all of that. Now, being an artist and an entertainer, we live for reaction on the dance floor. If people are not dancing, you will not get hired back. They say movement creates opportunity.
Interesting. I like that perspective.
I love that perspective. And that's what, it's logic. I've really turned things around to be definitely more logical, but just as dreamy as I have ever been, because my logic tells me that I can make anything happen.
Oh, I love that.
So I'm not a dreamer. I'm very logical.
Yes.
People don't understand my superpowers.
Yes.
So it's just like, okay, and just sit back and watch. I got it.
Exactly.
I'm not, being able to read someone in the room and save your energy versus waste it. On the frustration, on the sadness I've really learned to save that and be quiet.
I love it.
And, it's in our nature to want to let people know.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Let people know. But I think the more silent I am recently, the better.
And that's wisdom and maturity, right? Most people think, oh, let me just react and pull one over. And a mentor of mine also said, Jane, you don't need to always seek revenge, right? I don't know if you want to call it karma or what goes around comes around, but not even that. It's just, Jane, you got to just let go. Because maybe you seeking revenge or you trying to pay it back or whatever you want to call it, or give them a taste of their own medicine. Good people or people who are moving into a place of healing and being better, it doesn't really pay off, right? Even if you do seek revenge or you do react or respond, it's like, what did that do for you? So I love that you said, Jane, sometimes silence and just preserving your energy and not even wasting your breath is the way to go.
It really is, to be honest with you. And sometimes if you see someone that is a good friend, but that talking to them is going to instantly cause jealousy and other stuff like that, just be like, I'm good. I'm just going to go the other way.
Wow.
I'm going to walk the other way and I'm going to save my energy. And because I don't need that right now, I'm about to go on.
Yeah.
I need positive vibes only. Like, that's a real thing. Just like doing your podcast.
Yes.
And doing makeup. You want positive energy. And, you know, once you get to that point, then you really manifest and you attract people that vibrate on that level. And then you're like, oh, wow, you no longer have to deal with those things. You're around people that are giving and supportive because, you know, even being an artist, I guess you could say I have a lot of friends, but, you know, throwing a music video is really expensive. And when you start asking friends who your friends, and then they say, well, how much? And then I'm like,
no.
I can't afford it.
Well, I'll be doing your makeup sometime soon, so I got you.
All my friends come with a price.
You're like, what?
Looks like I'm doing this on my own.
Yeah. Oh, man. I hear that.
And, you know, when you're on a budget, because you don't make money off of music these days. Unless you go viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Really crazy.
And I'm glad you're still taking time and the investment to still produce and actually create a music video, because I feel like with, you know, the times now, everything's such like instant result, right? And it's good, but I had a talk with another, you know, content creator, and we were both chatting about not everybody, but some creators and artists that are getting lazy. Because it's like shortcut, iPhone, boom, 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 boom. But I love that you're still producing quality work, quality content. And like you said, it might be a tight budget, but you still take the time to produce great music and great audio and visuals, because we could also fall off that track and say, well, Jane, everybody's just doing like quick cell phone photos and that's it. You could have done that too, you know, and just been like, I'm just going to go that route. So tell me a little bit about going against the grain, and you can take this wherever you want, but you're really good at that. Like, you make it natural because that's how you live, but I'm out here watching, and I'm sure a lot of people watching, like, yeah, you're just unapologetically you, even the way you show up.
I'm not intentional shit stirrer. I'm just creative that really likes to live out every character that I've ever wanted to be through my music. And in order to do that, I need to make a music video.
Yes.
And if I have the resources, you know, have an idea, here's the vision. Okay, what's the dream vision? What are our resources?
Yeah.
Who can help us? Okay. And you know what? When you reach the next level, friends will help you.
I love that.
At no cost.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And we help each other, you know.
Yeah.
And we're all in it together. And so that's really what it was. Our friends really kicked in. We're blessed to know, super talented friends. And we had one day and we're like, okay, who's available this day? Wow. And some people are like, I can only do this time and this time and that time. And
but made it work.
You made it work. And at the end of the day, because I done everything on my own, I watched myself. I know how to look. I know where to move. And awesome. Even if the camera guy sucks, it's up to me to not make it suck.
Yeah,
you know?
I love that.
I really had to focus and watch myself. And you'll see that when you get to watch your podcast.
Yeah.
You will tweak yourself. You'll become more confident. You'll be more poised. You will definitely elevate your own, elevate your style, your look, everything about you, because you'll start to be a fan of yourself too. I
love that. Yeah.
You know, and I am a fan of myself.
Yeah.
I make all my videos. I edit them all, and I think I'm great. Now, they don't go viral, but I don't care. I don't do it to go viral. I just hope that, I don't know, I would really love to manifest like a next level agent that can, you know, take me to the top.
Yeah. And, you know, speaking of that too, I feel like, again, back to alignment. And timing, it just takes the right person to see you, right? It takes the right person to see what we're doing. And
absolutely,
you know,
100%.
As we are creating in this moment too, it's so funny because I manifested how the podcast would sound. I manifested how the podcast would feel. And then that alone guided me to the people that I would have on, right? So
totally,
even just all that you are, all that I am, there's no accident that we're sitting here today, and there's no accident we'll probably have so many more interviews, podcast opportunities. But more importantly, I know you said, when we level up, like the right friends and the right people will level up with us. And one of the bonus things that I offer pretty much is like, this is your time to showcase who you are. This is your time to shine. Like, this is your time to tell the viewers and the listeners, like, what you're about, And so even for me, unintentionally, I guess subconsciously, I was already trying to create something that's actually helping other people. And then in that realm, it's helping me. So it's like the most selfless, selfish gift that I can offer you and to the future guest on this podcast, because we're creating a story together.
You said something that made me, this is what I tell people. A lot of people, they want to contribute to society. Mm-hmm. And the best way to contribute to society is to share your gift, no matter what it is.
I love
no
that.
matter what it is just share your gift the best way you know how.
Oh, I love that.
As simple as it can be, share your gift, because that radiates positive energy, and that is really best for the synchronicity of the universe, the planet, and the collective consciousness, some might say. So I think just by owning that, and I know that who I am is good, people can say whatever they want. I don't care, because I know who I am, and I love who I am.
Yes.
And I'm very fortunate to have the city of Las Vegas nightlife and entertainment. Love who I am too.
I know. That's been so fun to watch. Yeah. And, so I know we talked about potentially, shifting your future into LA or California, right? Or
California. I just say LA, but definitely California.
Now, this is kind of a loaded question here, but if you could pick your dream job, like I said, that's why it's kind of a trick question here, what would that look like?
I would love to be like a main character on like a Netflix series. So it doesn't matter, just a really amazing show.
Yes.
That's what I would love to do. And then also DJ around the world and do both. Like Idris Elba, he does that. He's phenomenal. Crazy. But, I would really just like to hone in on that. I would love to have my own fashion line. Yes. I would love to, do that in New York. I really want to travel like the festival circuit. Like, sky's the limit, to be honest with you. I just want to travel the world and share my gift and get paid to do it.
Yes. And I love that you just kind of answered and went on your tangent, because I like to ask that question because selfishly, I want to see if there's any alignment, right? And I remember telling my husband too, I was like, I want to travel. I want to get paid to travel, get content, to build a community, to do the podcast, and then to have a candle brand where I'm literally bringing light into people's homes, offices, their sanctuary. So
very intentional.
Even the candle, exactly. It's not just a candle. You're spreading the light. So the tagline I want to have is just be the light. Short and simple, be the light.
I like it.
And so I feel like that really, is something that I'm working on. But even with your desire to one day, not if, but when you are on Netflix, when you are on these awesome shows, when you are traveling the world DJing, we can laugh one day and say, Jane, remember that conversation we talked about? What is your dream? We manifested it. We were intentional, but most importantly, we walked towards it with actual belief, because I feel like so many people have these visions, but they don't believe. And so again, even just to share this space with this high energy and deep belief, it's so comforting and soothing. And I think that's why, even if we don't see each other often, I love how when we see each other, it's like this like pull, but it's like we're just comforted, it's like I can breathe. Like,
you're so kind. You always say that. You're always such full of love and light and positivity. And I really thankful for you for that.
Yes,
I really am. And I believe in you, and I love your vision, and I see it. And, the more intentional you are with your vision and your purpose, the more it comes to life, because the universe understands that you just want to make it a better place.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
You succeed.
Yeah.
You're putting out positivity. You're putting out you're getting what you give, and you will get what you give.
Yeah.
Trust me. It starts by just doing it.
Yeah. And even that too, I remember watching another YouTube video on how people strive for perfection, right? And they're so stuck on perfectionism that they never start, right? So it's like, here we are starting, here we are doing, here we are moving towards our manifestation, our goals. But, you know, for people listening and watching, what would you advise, or like, tell me a little bit about a moment where you felt, you know, stuck, but also scared?
Okay. I mean, last year I really wanted, and I talk about this all the time, and I'm really excited to talk about this with you. I manifested an agent of one of the most iconic artists ever, Snoop Dogg's agent. So Snoop's agent, like last year, 2 years ago, Snoop started making he started collaborating with regional Mexican artists.
Okay.
And the sound that I was doing, I was like, okay, well, I'm more urban American, Mexican American. So like, who the hell is his agent? He needs to meet me. He approved this stuff. This is wonderful. This is fabulous for someone like me. Who is his agent? Found out who his agent was. I happened to start a Banda tour, and everyone's like, you need to know who this guy is. His name just kept popping up. So I followed him. One day, this guy was posting a story of this beautiful regional Mexican artist. Yeah. She's like me, but she's like the real deal, real Mexican, not Mexican American. And I was like, I'm the bad version. He needs to know who I am.
Oh my gosh.
So, excuse me.
Yeah, it's okay.
So I go on Snoop's stories. What is Snoop doing? He's like DJing Banda in his living room.
You're kidding.
And I was like, oh, well, I could do that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's. And he was he was promoting a concert with them recently. So I was like, I'm gonna put a video together. Let's see. Now let's see if these two can even make sense. And if it sounds decent, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
So I messed around on the decks really quick, and I was like, okay, I think I have something. So I get dressed, I do my makeup. I'm like, look cute, not cute, too cute. Yep. You know, you want to be taken seriously, but who gives a shit? Like, just do it. I'm just trying to get their attention. That's it. Put it together. I tag them all. I post it. Nothing. The next day I have to go to LA because I'm doing like a media tour for my music. And I get to my hotel, and I was like, I still haven't seen anything from them. What the heck is going on? Well, I'm here in LA right now, and I need to meet them. They need to know who I am. So what do? I DM them all, each separately, my video, my reel or TikTok video, whatever it is. I'm like, okay, done, sent. Do I delete it? Do I forget about it? I don't want to see it. I don't want it to consume me the whole day. Just forget about it. Still leave it. I go to my first interview. It's a Stoner Fest. It's a festival called Stoner Fest. They're interested in having me.
Oh man.
And I'm talking to this guy, and all of a sudden he brings up Snoop's agent. And he's like, I met with Snoop's agent. Do you know who this guy is? And I said, yes, I'm trying to be his artist. I'm trying to get him to know who I am. Yes. And he's like, he's looking for someone like you. He needs to meet you. Like, he needs to meet you. And he's telling me this. And I was like, okay, thank you. I need to see where my next interview is. Yeah. Because I might need to go. And the location was on my Instagram. So I check my Instagram. First thing I see is Snoop's agent mentioned you in his story. No. And I was like, he knows who
You're
I
like,
am.
my life is complete.
He knows who I am. And that's all I saw. I didn't even tap into it because I had a busy day. So I just had the butterflies.
That's
later on that day. Yeah, junior agent. She messaged me. She's like, he wants to meet with you. It took about 3 months to meet.
Jeez.
I mean, I manifested him, and you know, some things require a lot of work, and timing, and people are busy, and they will push you to the side, you know. But when I became a headliner, I definitely let him know. I said, by the way, I'm a headliner now.
No, I love that. And even just your ballsiness, and again, back to courage, right? Like, I love how you were saying, Jane, even though the doors weren't opening for me right now, I'm going to make sure that door opens at some point, right? Whether it's now or 3 months later. So I love that you were just continuing to pursue it.
You just have to go with it,
Yeah.
And so now a lot of time has passed. Obviously, we have not worked together yet,
Yeah.
but we still respect each other,
Mhm.
and that communication is still open.
Great.
And so I hope that we can meet again soon.
Yeah.
He does get back to me, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I think I've been able to pick my brain and approach things in a new way where I'm on top just as much.
Yeah.
And utilize some leverage that I've been able to have, hopefully, that Las Vegas has given me, and take that to LA.
Gosh. No, and just even as you're talking through your career and your journey as well, a common theme that I'm also getting is be proactive. Manifestation is everything. However, believe and keep going, right? Because anyone could have said, well, maybe not right now, or they may not have DM'd you or emailed you or called you back right away. Now, where does that relentless courage come from? Because again, I know there's so many people listening and watching. They're just like, well, it's easy for you guys to say, like, I have a podcast, you're doing your music, you're traveling, like, we're already doing it. But, for people who just, I don't know, like, they don't think they have courage, how can you help them find courage? It's like confidence, right? Like, how do you find confidence?
They just have to start, like, being around someone that you have to change your environment.
Okay.
It's not up to me. Like, they really have to have that fire in them.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, okay, I'm done. And I'm at that point where I don't, unless you already have that fire in you, like, you're wasting your time.
Yes.
I'm wasting my time.
Mm-hmm.
And I recognize that. And I'm okay with saying that. I have been very hard on a couple friends who may not have liked me for being brutally honest with them. And if I give you my time, I'm going to give you all of my time.
Yeah.
And if you come at the wrong time, it can be disrespectful.
Yes.
I would never disrespect someone's time that I value, that I look up to, that is taking their time to help me.
Yeah.
So I guess respecting that person's time.
Yeah.
And it's truly get over yourself.
Yes. No, I love that. and
like,
what's fun too is like, I look at you as a sister and a mentor and just a freaking amazing person that's happens to be influential. But,
I do too.
It's just so fun when you can celebrate what we do. But back to what I was saying in the beginning of our conversation is just like, I enjoy being with you, right? I know that sounds so cheesy, but we need to seek more, friendships, mentors, and, spirits that we're able to just sit, right? Maybe sometimes we don't want to be on. Maybe sometimes we don't want to perform. Maybe sometimes we don't want to entertain. We just want to sit.
Yeah.
And just be. Like, it's so healthy. And so even as you were mentioning about just, your time and all that you've become, I've also caught myself being more respectful towards my own self. Is like, Jane, you can't just throw your time at anybody or everybody, right? Like, be more mindful because your time is gold. And especially as we get older and wiser, your time is truly one of the biggest currencies you can share with somebody, right? That time you cannot get back or undo or rewind. So again, it's no accident that we're here, and it's no accident, like, even the trajectory of where we're going. And so I just feel really honored and blessed to be on that path with you, but also whatever, desires, achievements you want to tackle on, I do vision alignment with you. So whether it's just helping you backstage, whether it's touching up your makeup, or you might just need a personal assistant on the side, like, I am that girl. So I'm just really
Jane, you're the first one I'm going to call because I know you were on it, and trust me, I am ready for that.
Yes. I'm like, I've been harassing you for like 2 years. I'm like, I'm going to do your makeup soon. But it's just like, I want to be a part of your journey. That's where it comes from, right? Like, even me checking in with you, it's more just like, hey, I see you. I know you're busy, but I want to update you with what I'm doing. And I want you to also update me on what you're doing, because the people that have space for us and our success, they'll be happy to hear about it, right? They'll be happy to help.
Once you have, you've unlocked the new levels to life, you see that the quality of life, the quality of people that you surround yourself with is so much better.
Yes.
Night and day.
Yep.
So, look forward to that. See that as a new thing versus the friends that you lost, and not necessarily as a bad thing, but hope that those friends will come up because they see you smiling, they see the light that you give, and they want to be part of it. And that is contributing on its own without even doing anything.
Yeah. No, I love that. And, I hope you know that you've helped me even indirectly with so much, because there's been some, just very unexpected, difficult changes in my personal life. But just watching somebody like you navigate through changes, you keep me sane, you keep me grounded, and you help me laugh, and you help me realize, like, Jane, don't let anyone dull your sparkle. And so even every encounter I've had with you, whether you've been going through highs and lows, you still shed light. You still brighten up a room. So just, I hope you know that, through the ups and downs, like, I'm here for it. Even if you're having an awful day or an awful week or an awful season, that will not take away from my love and respect for you as a person. So I just wanted you to know that outside of, all that you do, I just love you as a human being.
I love you too.
Yeah, so I wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
But one thing that I always love to ask all my guests, like, as we wrap up, is, what are your top 3 life lessons that you would have told your younger self?
I love this question. I hear it all the time in interviews, and I'm like, what would I say? Geez, because I've always been someone that is evolving constantly. Honestly, it would be the same thing that I've done since I was a kid. Just go for it. Don't be afraid. Just start getting used to going for it and not being afraid of rejection, and don't see it as rejection. If you have a list of things that you want, you just cross it out. If it doesn't work, okay, don't even think twice about it. It's like swipe left. No thanks. Okay, what's next? Like, just keep pressing forward, and you're going to turn into like the coolest version of yourself with like the dopest experiences that you always wanted, but you never really thought you could get, but you get them all just by going for it. So just don't think, literally just do.
Yeah, I love that. All right, what would be your second lesson?
Second lesson.
Yeah, I'm like, that one's still really good. I'm like, dang, just go for it.
Yeah,
don't think.
Literally, don't think. Just do. That's like one of the biggest ones. Geez, the sacrifice is always real with pursuing what you want, pursuing your passion.
Yeah,
the sacrifice is legit. How to deal with the sacrifice? Give yourself room for grace. Give yourself grace. Like, accept who you are at this moment and be at peace with that.
Yeah.
Like, not trying to be perfect. Like, this is the best that I can do today, and I'm really happy with it.
I love that.
I'm proud. Or this is the best that I can give today, and I'm okay with it. Regardless.
Yeah.
This is the best that I can do right now, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be better tomorrow, so just let me be. Just like embrace who you are right now, and just know that this moment will not define me in the future even, but it may.
Yeah.
So give yourself grace.
I love that.
And just, embrace who you are, because you know that you're going to be better in the future, because that's who you are at your core.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good one. Man, just like even that lesson right there, I can resonate with it, because I have days I don't want to work out, I don't want to clean, I don't want to create. And it's like, I can honor that. So I love that you said, Jane, it's okay in that moment. Like, this is all I have today. I'm not going to be extra today, but tomorrow I'll be extra times 10. But right now I just can't. But I love what you said is just, it's just today, and tomorrow is going to be a different day. But right now, this is what it is. So I think, acknowledging what is and accepting it and letting it go at the same time. I think that's a very great lesson that not a lot of people have.
Because you don't beat yourself up for having a bad set, having a bad show, having a bad whatever. What the hell was I wearing? Maybe I reacted in a way that I shouldn't have. You can always fix things. I don't believe in cancel culture. I will never allow anybody to cancel me ever. I will never give anybody that power over me. So just knowing that, well, owning up to what you say too, that's what makes you say, well, no, this is, I said what I said. I stand by it.
Yeah.
That was me then.
Yeah.
This is me today.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay. Now, those are two incredible lessons. What about your last and final lesson that you would tell yourself?
Last and final lesson would probably be something I've always said is choose your friends wisely. And by that, I think when I was in 6th grade, one of my friends just started getting jealous out of me for no reason, and she wrote me a death threat. And I was like, I pulled her into the principal's office. I told the principal first. I said, my best friend just wrote me this death threat.
Wow.
I don't know why this happened.
Yeah.
But I would like to let you know about it. And I would like for you to be a witness that I spoke to her and asked her what happened.
Yeah.
Brought her in. She didn't say anything. She just started crying. And I said, I can't help you. I don't know how to. I don't know what I did wrong. And I'm sorry if I hurt you. But after that, I said, I will never allow any of my friends to steal my shine.
Wow, that's good.
Ever. Like, ever. So I don't care what you look like. I don't care like any of that. As long as you're comfortable with yourself and you let me be me.
Yeah.
Because who I am is awesome and you're just going to benefit from it.
Yeah. Okay.
You're going to benefit from it. So choose your friends wisely.
Yeah. God. And man, not to bring up a traumatic situation, but like that must have been so hard and unexpected, especially in your younger years. But maybe that was also a foreshadow of the
It was
future,
definitely a foreshadow.
right?
It happened a lot. Fortunately, I had a twin sister that could keep it real with me, my whole life. And, that's what sisters do. It's my job to keep it real with you. And I'm like, okay, well, I already know because I got a million people keeping it real with me. So that was then. So now can you just be on my side?
Right.
I think you know who I am now. Like, just be on my side.
Yeah.
But yeah, just choose your friends wisely. Make sure that, you have friends that do what they love as well. Because with that comes support and an encouragement and just that overall, like, synchronicity that you get. There's no jealousy, there's hater, there's, hey, how can I help you? Yeah, sure, here we go. And life is definitely more peaceful that way.
No, and like, again, those are amazing lessons to share with everybody watching and listening. And my greatest goal with every podcast episode is, again, to empower, to shed a different side of you that people don't naturally get. And, I love talking. I could talk all day to myself, but just learning from other people, it helps me rewire the way that I think. And so, the interview style podcast was actually a last minute change. I wanted to just be about me, but then I thought, Jane, you do know a lot, but like you don't know as much as you think you do. So last minute, I thought beautiful. I want to interview. Yes, because I had a lot of pride and ego. So that was a lot. Like I had to really swallow my pride. And I'm thinking, whoa, Jane, I'm going to listen. I'm going to observe. I'm going to absorb. And that's why even that last lesson you shared, I completely agree, is we must be mindful about the people we talk to. We must be mindful with the people we engage, because if we're not careful, it really can impact our mind, our spirit, and the way we even look at ourselves and life. So, for you to like sit here with me, spend this hour with me, to just open up your heart, to be present with me, it's like, that is all I want. So thank you so much for just your time, your light, your energy. And again, anywhere you go, you are the vibe. You create the vibe. And even the name of the podcast, Divinely Disruptive, I always tell people, I brought you on because I think you're divinely disruptive. You're beautiful, you're feminine, you're masculine, all the great qualities in between, but you disrupt everyday culture. You disrupt what everybody else is doing.
Cool.
And so
really like
everything, including you, we are living manifestations of what we believe in right now. So just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having
this
me.
was a really awesome, conversation, and I love just getting lost with my guests. Sometimes I forget we're actually recording and on a podcast, but it's really what this podcast is about. It's about real talk, real conversations, things that really matter. So I really appreciate all listening and watching, and I'm going to make sure to link all her information down below. You're going to be blown away by her talent, her creativity, her content. Sometimes I'm like in a bad mood and I'll listen to her music or watch a video and I can't help but smile and laugh.
Thank you.
So please make sure to support her on her adventure. And until next time, protect your peace and keep shining your light.